We're live.
Aloha world. I am John Mack from Hawaii. I'm along here with my associates. Grundy is in Michigan, and we also have Mr. E in St. Croix, Virgin Islands. Today, we're doing an amazing collaboration with Out of the Mud INC and Culture Echo Life. The purpose of this collaboration is obviously to expand our horizons and our common thoughts. Culture Echo Live is about uplifting the community and helping the young ones because they are a future of the community. Basically, handling things marriage, education, and overall well being and spirituality, and helping themselves at a young age so that way they prosper into the future. And myself personally, once again, my name is John. I am a retired military veteran and I'm now working as a realtor. And I'll be honest, my sales haven't replaced my income I once had, and it shifted my careers, has affected my ability to keep up with my fatherly duties. I'm still rebuilding financially and emotionally. I'm also pursuing my master's degree in business management to strengthen my skills and open doors for future opportunities. In my personal life, I've made several mistakes. I've been divorced. I've had children with different mothers, and my kids are literally living in different states. Because of my career transitioning and financial struggles, I've fallen behind in my responsibilities as a father, both emotionally, monetarily, and I'm not really proud of it, but I want to be transparent because it's part of my story and who I am. These failures are exactly why I speak up like no sex before marriage, no divorce, and no letting kids date before marriage. I've lived the consequences of ignoring those values, and I don't want children or anyone else to repeat these mistakes, particularly the ones that I've had to endure. My mission now is to rebuild my relationships with my kids, to help them heal, and to show example that even when you've failed, you can choose a better path forward. To share my journey openly so others can learn from it and build stronger families and futures. And now, allow Grundy to introduce himself.
Well, that was a very intricate introduction, John. My name is George F. Grundy II. I live in Flint, Michigan, born, raised, drank the water. Um, and Me and John were in the service together. So we've known each other for pretty much 15 plus years. And I'm here to support. I'm here to support. I'm going to leave it at that.
Hi, I'm Mr. E, um, Erskine Hansen, if you want to know my government name. I'm about to read, so if it sounds like I'm reading, that's because I am. Anyway, full time dad of three, two boys and a girl, all from a past marriage. They all have the same mom. You could say I try to do things the right way, but still found myself divorced after 10 years. Full time employee as a web developer and part time entrepreneur as a media consultant. I grew up and still live in the Virgin Islands. I had both parents in my childhood. It's not a flex, just a reality. Both parents work full time. Mom's earned more than my dad. Made a little rough around the edges to most people on the outside, especially given her career. But she never brought it home to my dad. That's a great point to make, only because we are talking about relationship dynamics. And I just want you to know what my upbringing was like. Um, I only mention that to let you know about my upbringing for the most part, and my passion for our topics are informed by my experiences of trying to do things right, but failing in areas that were unknown to me until it was too late, as you would already know. I hope to shed some light on lesser known experiences that most will encounter in marriage, but hopefully they can avoid the pitfalls and potentially avoid divorce altogether. Speaking from a place where I wish someone spoke to me to inform me about those potholes of relationship dynamics, from how you meet, start a relationship, engage with family, get engaged, and get married, etc. I don't have all the answers. Not a psychologist. I'm not pretending to be either of those things. All all I have in this life is my experiences, and what I wish I knew before I ever get married. I don't have a time machine to affect my past with my knowledge today, but maybe I can help at least one person to never repeat the mistakes I've made. And that's what I mainly want to bring to this conversation. Okay, that's it.
So,
Awesome. Thank you for that.
hold up, guys. I got to go back in because I I was I didn't know y'all were gonna go this all man. Y'all went all the way in, and so I have to give
All the
all of my
way in.
digits
The
too
people
since y'all
gotta
went all
know.
the way in. I
Please,
didn't realize
please
that
do.
you wanted to swim in the ocean, John. I thought we was sticking to lakes and streams, but
No, no, we're
it's
going deep.
cool.
We're big fish in the little ocean.
Yeah. So me, when it comes down to my resume, I haven't been married, never been married, been in long relationships, and the longest was 8 years. I don't have any children that I know of, but I've helped raise several, and I have a desire to be married, but I seem to always choose women that don't fit who I am, my personality, or the things that I want in life. So I'm at an age to where I want it, but is it realistic? Because I've had my own life the way I wanted to do it for so long that do I really want to allow somebody to make decisions in my life and then I have to listen to it? So I think that I think I'm done with that one right there.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Some of our topics that we're going to move in today, and the reason why we wanted to show a little bit of our background is so that we can have diversity in our opinions and show that we are rooted in a place of positivity and experience. So, mentorship and role models. We as parents do our best, and even as uncles and aunts do our best to influence kids. And technically, it's we're shooting from the hip. No one's really trained on how to do it, and you say, well, my parents did this or my family members did that. So you know certain negatives not to do, and you do your best to apply the positives. Whether not knowing if those are even actual positives is just something that you're doing on your own. So the question that I shoot out to the group for mentorship and role models. What do young men and women need? Why do young men and women need mentors and role models today? And we're thinking of between of the ages of diapers to say 25 and under. Who's taking the first one?
Well, I'll just start speaking because mentorship uh, would hopefully lead to not having to have conversations like we're having right now. It'll be a whole different set of issues that youth will grow up to deal with. It'll be more economic stability, more relationship stability, more knowledge of global events and global economies instead of wondering why didn't I know and why didn't anybody teach me and who dropped the ball.
Yep, I like that. Hanson, Mr. E, are
So,
you with us?
yes, can you hear me?
Okay. Yep, you're on. You're live.
Okay. So, I'm just looking at your questions. I don't know if they line up exactly with what you were asking, but I'm gonna try to feel it out from what I got here in front of me. So, you want to know about whether or not mentors,
It's
or
the
what?
first question. It
The
should be the
first
first
question:
question.
what impact does
Yep.
mentorship have on education and career success?
Oh, no, no, no. I must have given to you out of order then.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of trying to
Got
make
it.
sure I'm not asking answering the wrong one.
No worries. Why do young men and women need mentors and role models today?
Well, because we don't know everything. You know what I mean? Um, one area I know I'm gonna have to face at some point is my kids coming of age and thinking they know more than their father. They're gonna be like, well, I've been to school, I've been around my friends, I got the internet, I got AI. Dad, how could you possibly have anything worthwhile to tell me? And the only thing I could say about that is, as a dad, as a adult, somebody my age that has been around their entire life and before they were alive, assuming my eyes were open and my ears were, ready, and I was helping them with their homework, and I was paying attention to the technology as it came to what it is today, then how could they possibly have more knowledge than me? I mean, you could have knowledge where you have something specialized that I will never touch because you just ace in that particular thing, and I'd say, okay, cool, you have more knowledge than me in that. But in terms of life and relationships and stuff like that, you're definitely going to need a mentor. If it's a profession where I've already trailblazed on that, then it makes sense to just find somebody who's already done it and then try to have that person guide you along the way so you don't find you can just lessen your learning curve for the most part. That's what a mentor is going to do for you. And if a child, which I again, we've been through this, we know this because we've probably been that a-hole kid that didn't want to listen to our parents. And sometimes I had to go back to my parents and be like, that thing you was telling me back then. Yeah, you were right. You're right. I've done stuff like that with my dad. Well, actually, not my dad, but because I tend to listen to him more. But definitely with my mom when she was alive, a couple times she did give me some advice and something. I had to come back to her, humble myself, and be like, you know what? Yeah, you were right about that. And she didn't say I told you so. She just kind of smiled a little, like he learning. He learning. He didn't listen before, but at least he was wise enough to at least listen. And if he bumped his head and he came back, but mentorship is kind of like that. You just kind of you're taking the shortcut of life because I know like there's just a little situation that went on with me in school, and you guys might have had this experience as well. There's always this one kid that seemed like he was wise beyond his years, and you thought he was just super smart. He wasn't smart. He just had mentors, people around him that was really looking over him and giving him guidance and stuff like
Facts.
that. And we just kind of look at this dude like he making all the right moves. He's not making mistakes. He's just accelerating and just kind of climbing up the ladder when most people are struggling. That guy has mentorship in his life, and he has a advantage that most people just won't have because they're either arrogant or they don't know any better, or for whatever reason that mentor isn't in their life. And you could see the stark difference between most children and the kid that has a mentor because he's not necessarily the brightest. He just has guidance. So that's the importance right there. It's because we only have about so many years in life, hours in a day, and if you're able to skirt past most of those obstacles, you're gonna make the most of the hours and the minutes of your day and just leapfrog past most people in life.
I like that. I like that. That was strong. That was strong. G.
I'm here.
All right. So let's take a look at the textbook answer and then I'll give my 2 cents. So, textbook answer, and just for those watching, I enjoy using Copilot. And then what I also do is I make sure it gives me references and links to modern statistics within the US. And that's where this references are coming from and the responses are based on. So, starting fresh, why do young men and women need mentors and role models today? Because 1 in 3 young people in the US reach age of 19 without a mentor, leaving them without guidance during critical years. Mentorship builds confidence, resilience, and emotional well-being, while also improving academic performance and career readiness. Why mentorship is important to me? I didn't have a mentor until I joined the military. My parents were officers and educators. Their only guidance, to my knowledge, it was always beaten into me, was get A's and go to college. That was the extent of the mentorship. They never explained to me income of different college degrees. They never explained to me business, scaling, making my money work for myself. There was never no investment portfolios. And this isn't a knock on them. It's just their strategy. Their strategy was work, retire, stack the money up. Often two jobs if they had to. So for my mentorship, I learned in the military, I would say roughly 26, 27 years old, how to use my VA to purchase a home, how to buy stocks with dividends, how to make my money work for me, how to pick the right degree so that I can actually, when I exit the military, I can have potentials of so-called a six-figure job and so on. And the point that I'm making is that if I had some structured development at the age of 14 or 15, like Mr. E was mentioning, I would have been, my money would have been working earlier, questions would have been answered earlier, I would have been more focused. And even though I wasn't mentally genius or gifted, I would have had a head start of just the American structure of finances, education, and developing for my home so that I can turn pour back into my family. And that's what my take on mentorship is. And I will go to the next question. Or
So
Mr. E, would you like to one of the questions?
before you transition off of that, when it comes to what we're taught and how we're taught it, you got to think about it. 80 billion people have done the same thing, repeat, 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 repeat. And all of it has been, generally speaking, people work hard at whatever the society tells them is the highest thing or to achieve. But only a few sprinkles, less than sprinkles, actually achieve uh, complete dominance over what it is that they want in life. And so, if for me, if I go biblical, it says people perish because of lack of what? Hard work, lack of
Knowledge.
exactly. So it's something in the equation that isn't being taught correctly, or it's something in the system that has been uh, put in our mindset to not achieve according to what it is that we believe in.
I like that.
That's
I
it.
do have a Save Brown on that hand. Mr. E, you want to touch on that one or you're good?
Well, I've never really. Well, I'll say this. I know it's common for the kids of parents who weren't well to do to just kind of blame them for whatever they lacked and couldn't pass on, for that person to feel like they had you know a equal advantage as their peers. And I get that, but I do notice once you become a parent, for whatever you potentially lack as a parent, you don't lack those things on purpose and intend to not give the best out to your child. You might not know what the best is for your child. You might be trying to have the same upbringing that you thought was great about your childhood and try to pass as much of that on to your child. And sometimes as a positive, sometimes as a negative. Sometimes you didn't get that software update to put yourself in line with what most or the best parents, or the parents that have the best tools to provide to their children are giving their children. And by contrast, and you not giving that to your child might now grow up not having that one thing that they should have had with the rest of their peers. And it's not because they didn't want to give it to them. It's like either they didn't know better, or they didn't have it to give. So at that point, what are you really doing? Trying to blame them. At some point, you're gonna grow up enough to know what it is that you didn't have, and you're gonna have to grow up and make some make some moves for yourself so that you can now have those things that you lacked before, because you're of an age, of a generation that knows what's missing in your situation. And sorry, getting back to your original question, I'm forgetting my chain of thought on that.
No, that's great. I have so much that you're heading in a great direction.
Okay, okay. Well, that's all I really have to share, because I know my I don't want to say who. I'm going to say, like, I am familiar with individuals who blame their parents day in and day out, to this day still blame them for the whatever they lacked when they were coming up, and refuse to adapt. Because, like, it's one thing if you don't know and now you're feeling the effects of that is another thing where, okay, you have the effect, but you also know what the problem is now. Are you going to grow up and fill that void and make up the difference? But some folks just prefer to lean on that as a crutch and say, my life is this way because my parent didn't do XYZ. And they kind of use it as this chip on their shoulder to justify why they continue to be a failure in life or fail at the thing that they wish that they were successful at. So that's all.
Are you there, John?
Is John frozen?
I think he froze up. He said some stuff that made him want to look mean.
We're back now.
Are
I
you
think we're
back?
back. Mr. E,
man.
can you
We
give
thought
that
somebody
last
had cloned
sentence
you,
in?
bro.
I think you had a little. Yeah, you had a
We
little.
thought-
You froze a little bit. Can you do? Can you
Did
finish
I?
that last
No,
edit
you
that you had
froze
in there? The
actually.
last
No,
statement.
I heard him loud and clear. You the one that froze.
Yeah, you froze. You froze.
Oh, I froze.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very well. All right. Well, then in
Yeah,
that case, we'll
you
move
had
on.
behind you the 1,000-yard stare.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are miles away. So I think help me with the quote. I didn't come from a rich family. Rich family needs to come from me. Blaming parents was definitely a hobby of mine. My second year in college, when I went to school originally to become an educator, and then we were just sitting around, friends gathered in a room, excited about their projected careers and where we were going, and then we're all talking about income, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, this attorney can make anywhere from 180K to 500K a year, or engineer makes anywhere from this, that, and the other." And then when it came down to the teacher, and teacher made $30,000, I was not only embarrassed, but I'm like, "Yo, these MFers in my house have been telling me to go this path for the longest while, and I'm gonna be broke for the rest of my life." And then transitioning forward, when I realized I have the knowledge, I have the capability to make my own destiny, is when I finally let it go. So I can definitely, people are blaming their parents. Get over it, especially if you're like over 30. It's no longer there. You've had 12 years outside of their home to effectively change your life in so ways. Figure it out. Stop crying. And then also for the mentorship situation, it has to come from, you have to want it. Mentors typically won't work with someone who is lazy. So if you don't have that fire inside of you, then you probably not going to find a mentor. And I've mentored young people before in the military, and that's my main interaction of people being thrown to the wolves. Hey, I come from this town. I come from a very small location, and the military was my individuals have no concept of life, credit cards, vehicles, employment, banking, nothing. And it was very interesting to see how many people that you needed to take at that age, 18, 19, 20, and walk them through and how to be an adult, which means their parents didn't know any better. And then leading back to where the parents doing the best that they can, some of them are afraid to change. So they grasp to, this is how we did it, this is how we're gonna do it. And that's bad. If you're afraid of change as an adult and you have children, it can be a problem for you and your uh, mentee technically, which is your child. So now I want to specifically target it. What happens when young people don't have mentors? What does life look like for them? And we all know, and I especially want someone to touch on, if they have in-depth knowledge on the percentage of single parents and the effect of minorities and how they are filling up the prison system because of the lack of mentorship in the household. Who wants that one? That's a hot one.
Well, your force mentor, I would say, is your mom, because until you get out the house, she's usually the one that's going to be there for most people. Depending on the career situation, it might be a dad.
Sure, don't
Yeah,
forget it.
spending the most
From the
time with you
Yep, diaper
initially.
change, walking, eating, showers. We got it. You're right on.
Yeah, and eventually it becomes a teacher, a favorite teacher or something like that, or a counselor, and you know, there's people kind of looking out for people. I think it's a lot different for our generation because, um, you know, they said it. What do they call it? Community or village raises a child. We know the saying, and that was essentially an army of people willing to check you anytime you messed up. We don't really have that right now. Where we have a lot of adults that's either playing the field, trying to pretend like they're younger than they actually are, and in terms of like going to parties with kids and trying to blend in with the youth and stuff like that. We find this a lot more with well, I don't know the specific numbers. I just know from what I see. I think both sides do it, but I think it's mostly. I can't even say mostly. I'm just going to say, here's where I see it's problematic for both. If if an older man is trying to be young, and there's a lot of problems with that, which society and the law is gonna have an issue with that, with him trying to be in young situations, right? I think women get away with it more often. I think men get punished more often for that. So it's less likely with a male, but it's also problematic if a male does it. Females do it. We tend to call women girls, even though they're full grown women, right? So they tend to live in the la la land of being young for a much longer period of time. And because of that, they're not really mentoring those children because they themselves are trying to portray themselves as kids. And those who are still portraying themselves as adults, they don't feel like they have the authority because of how probably disrespectful kids are today and unwilling to listen to an adult. Because we know that there was a weird point in time where kids would go to school, have a problem with a teacher, the parent would come in and reaffirm that the teacher is right and that the kid needs to listen to the teacher. And at some point, it just flipped where the parent would come in and now they're fighting the teacher on behalf of the child, even though the child is wrong. And I think it started to spiral from there, where, okay, now we have in just this bad mom that's from someplace. And it was usually a mom doing this. I didn't often see a dad. It was usually a mom. It might be a single mother dysfunctional home situation that's going on. I can't say. I don't have the evidence to prove this. I'm just telling you from what I saw. It was usually a mom that would come in defending the bad kid who was doing wrong things. So now, who would have usually have been the mentor, even if from a passive mentor where they were just kind of looking at that teacher as somebody to aspire to as far as character or stuff like that. This person now was, closed off. They couldn't discipline that child, not even verbally, to tell them like, yo, you're living in a way that's going to be a little detrimental to your upbringing and stuff like that. And they're not doing it because they're avoiding the rebuttal that's going to come from the parent that might try to fight a teacher. And even if it doesn't come to physical blows, they're so loud and rambunctious in their face with their child present that they're essentially giving license to that child to act out and be at odds with the people who should have been the child's mentor. So from that standpoint, now we're seeing just a generation of adults just saying, you know what? I'm not even going to attempt to discipline that person verbally or pull them up or say, hey, man, what you're doing there is wrong. And this is how you can kind of navigate and be better and stuff like that. So the village doesn't exist anymore is my point. And we see the result of this now, right? Some adults trying to stay kids, and the adults who are real responsible refusing to be that mentor to the generations that's coming up. So now the kids are just kind of like, they're growing up, and eventually when they figure it out, they'll be like, damn, nobody told me nothing. I'm like, yeah, well, why would they tell you? You were ready to cuss them out. They could see it in your face the second that they said, hey, how are you doing? And they lips all pushed up and they're ready to fight and all this type of stuff. And they're like, you know what? Never mind. You got it. And just keep moving on with their day. So So what does life look like? That what you see right now, that's what it looks like.
Village definitely raised myself. I recall either going in the wrong neighborhood where I thought it was unseen, and there's a batch of cousins there on the phone with my mom, and my mom would pull up in her car, "Just get in," and I'm like, "How did this happen? How did she find me?" And later on, she tell me, "Yeah, this is your cousin, this is that, and this is how I used to always do this, and this is how I knew where you was doing at all times." And we'd laugh about it because obviously I was an adult or older teen, but it felt like it was like she was always watching. It was crazy. But no, it
Surveillance.
was just it was just family members just dropping a dime on me like, "Oh yeah, he's over here with the horse, or he's over here way past where I know he's not supposed to go." And it was tremendous. And either they would capture me there and hold me until she would come, or she would just roll up. And it was like the spookiest thing, man. It's like I was being haunted by my parents, and it would just I always know where I was. And it was again, as a child, it's terrifying. But now growing up, I wish I had that for my kids. I wish I had a legion of people in neighborhoods around here that if my kid even jaywalks, I get a call like, "Oh, hey, why are you jaywalking on Fifth Street? How did you know about that?" I said, "Don't worry about how I know about that," and that helps them keep in check. That extra eye.
Snitching.
Yeah, that extra eye. It was 100% on the village, and that in itself was a form of mentorship because it gave you that integrity. Do the right thing when even no one's looking, because someone might just be looking. Grundy.
Someone's always looking. Someone's always looking, and the that's why for me it's important to be involved in community. To not just, oh, I go and I have a 9 to 5 or I'm just doing mediocre stuff. No, be involved in community where there's people can associate the name with something successful or something progressive or something that is community engaging. Because when it comes to my greater family, my cousins and my nephew and niece and whatever, if I need, I may not have the economic means to throw $100,000 at a situation, but if I have a community name, then things can always be negotiated or some favors can be had, or things can be done because there's always a bartering system or a need. So for me, that's how I try to influence the youth around me. That's how I try to mentor the youth around me, showing them that you have to always reach for something that is going to build your community or create a stability in the community or have a name to where when people say it, has some type of meaning. What there, you say a good name is worth its weight in gold. So I don't have any gold, but I try to keep a decent name. I'm not perfect. If somebody out there say, "Oh, that dude is no good," that's their side of the story. There's always three sides, but I try to keep a good name. And the mentorship. When you stated the question, one of the first things came to mind was DMX. That's a certain level of mentorship. Because regardless if you had a nuclear family or not, someone mentored you down the road, whether it was foster care and you never had traditional parents and you grew up in a
It came
foster
in some
system.
form, whether
It came in
positive
some
or
form.
negative. It came in
Right,
some
right.
form.
It,
Absolutely.
unless you were in a Russian laboratory and experimented on where they showed no love at all and no human interaction for the first 6 years of your life. And that's even mentorship, the loneliness.
Hmm.
So it's levels to it. And me generalizing, just like Mr. E was generalizing, it's we're we're I would, because our age group, we're phase 2 or 2.5 of the aftermath of crack. So if you're 80s, if you grew up and you were old enough to be in the streets and hang out in the streets in the 80s, then in the whether it be, because we're all from different locations and we're all in different locations right now, and you know I don't know how in on the islands crack hit y'all, but it hit Flint like a tsunami. it hit here real hard.
I
It
wouldn't say
turned.
tsunami, but we had some waves. I would say we had some waves for sure.
So it did affect the environment,
Yeah,
affect the.
there's yep.
Yeah.
I knew several of my elementary teachers that I found out later as an adult were users.
I, when I was in middle school, my English
Hmm.
teacher, yeah. So things like that, it changed the dynamic of what we look at, or what even their self love to themselves. And the big mamas and the uncles and the dads and the grandpas, it changed that dynamic real heavy. And maybe not
As it was
necessarily
designed to do. It was designed to crush the system, the
right.
family dynamic.
Yeah, and it shows that with the diaspora of how we're from different locations, but yet it still had a wave, a ripple effect in certain communities. So fast forwarding to mentorship, you go from folks that were educators or scientists or engineers, and now they have this thing that was supposed to be just a recreational thing, now becomes one of the strongest addictive things ever to hit our community, you know, and it changes everything. You got people that all kinds of stories, and I'm not even gonna go into the horror stories of what folks dealing with that addiction or that disease we're dealing with. But it was horrible, um, very horrible, and it changed the dynamic of the family structure in the Black community in general. After that, now I'm 2.5 or 2.0 of that era, because it's the 80s. I was outside in the 90s. Uh, that's something I never went towards. But going back, y'all remember the movie Batman where with Bane? I was born in the dog.
Yep.
So that's still mentorship in this barren straight to where you grew up in a hole. Some people have that environment to where that the people that they were around have very little consciousness, have very little love, have very little anything. So for me, I give grace to folks like that, because this is how you were raised. Folks that like close to myself and that had a parent or some type of stability, you made a decision to turn your conscience down and look at people as just a means to an end and not as human beings. You chose to take a route to say, hey, I know this is wrong because I was raised to have some kind of moral, and I don't choose those morals, period. But if you come up in an environment where you have to always wonder, like you don't even know that it's wrong, that's a different space. And I admire people that have come through foster care systems and come through, being in environments where their parents were either addicts or either going through whatever they were going through, and you choose to become great, because regardless of your mentors, regardless of your circumstances and situations, somewhere, somehow, somebody or something got into your spirit or your conscious, or it was always there and said, there's something else, there's something better. And I just I try to strive for more from myself, because I didn't have those same ills that others have. But it's like, wow, how did you get there having all that struggle? And it's like, what's wrong with me? I need to do better.
Absolutely. That you remind me of a story of my first experience as mentorship as an educator, or on the track to be an educator. You had to do volunteer hours with different programs. And this particular program, Florida, was called SARP, Student Outreach Program. And it was a combination of pre-student teaching, basically getting to know, you had to do practical application with students. And you would either start out with the mentally challenged or the socioeconomically challenged. And we would go, it was a summer program. I think these kids were no older than sixth grade at best. And the briefs that we got from this one particular student was he's not going to make it. He's always disgruntled. And when he has talent in sports and he's not slow, he just doesn't listen. And they were like, okay, you guys can have him. I said, bro, me and the other guy, he was from St. Thomas, another island in the Virgin Islands. They were like, Yeah, we're not we came from challenging background as well. We can relate to this kid. So let's say halfway through the program, we broke through to this kid. Obviously, the first week he was rebellious. Second week rebellious. It was a 8-week program. Halfway through, kid's doing great, helping in class, putting things away. He's on time. He's early. He's opening up. He's sharing things. I won't say easily top two smartest in the class at this point because he's being encouraged, explained, and he's in a safe environment. He's not being batted down by the teachers that are tired of him. He's got two people who are tolerant of where he's coming from. And I say that to say this: the kid was a physical specimen. I myself, I consider myself semi-athlete. I'm Hoorah Marine Corps, all that good stuff. This kid was faster than me. He could throw a football farther than me. Could throw a baseball. And I'm talking about in sixth grade, and I was in college. Granted, I was like 17 in college, but still, this kid was dynamic, all around stud. And then we grew to find out that his background was he lived with his sister because his mother is dead and his father's in jail, and he has to sell drugs to keep the lights on because his sister's on drugs. So we turned out that he is such a dominant force in his environment. He was born in the dark, that when these teachers tell him what to do, he looks at them like, you're a child to me in my world. And that's why he was defiant to them, because he didn't respect their structure, or they didn't understand what he has to go through. And he would come to school or the program bright, happy, because they'd have breakfast for them, the whole 9 yards. And through the three-fourths of the day, you see him start to diminish in attitude, no matter what day it was. He could have won $1 million, $4 million that day, but on that way home, he would have to transform back into somebody else to go home. And then we found out he was shot in the head 2 weeks later by someone who was robbing him for what he was selling. And this was a little kid, and they blew his head off. And I'm saying that to say mentorship. This man was a man amongst men at his age, and he was just in the wrong environment to be successful. And it's sad that I took it there, but his mentorship, he would have been successful there. He would have, and he would have been successful anywhere else. But the lack of the parenting mentorship, the lack of the older sister mentorship, like he was failed in so many ways, and then the streets mentored him, and that's where he was forced to succeed. And I know that type of life may be, oh, that's not a form of success. That's the only avenue, that's the only door he had for success. He had no other option. And yes, he came to an end, this, that, and the other. But what I'm saying is mentorship does have many forms, and you'll be molded one way or the other in your environment. And this leads me to my next question. Uh, when you were growing up, how did your family handle disagreements, and what lessons did you carry into adulthood?
Go give me a little more understanding of what you consider a
So based
disagreement.
on how your problem solving skills, your conflict resolution, based on your upbringing of conflict resolution from your household or your environment as a child meaning up to 22 years old, to where how you would handle that same situation differently now. Say when your parents found you in a cookie jar and you're climbing up in the cabinets and your kitchen's a mess and dough's everywhere. Or you can choose it to a little more realistic, just who you were then as a child receiving the discipline, and who you are now if you were the disciplinary in that same situation.
Not everybody go at the same time.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Let's see. Here's an example. We didn't have dishwashers at the time, but say I had a situation with my youngest, and he got a gift from school, a little cup or whatever it was, and he put it in a dishwasher, and it's a non-dishwasher cup, and it shattered, made a mess, so the older siblings had to clean it up, and they're furious. They're like, "How do you not know how to do this? You should have read the directions on the cup." And they're teens and preteens, and they're chewing this kid out, man. And he's like, "I didn't know." He's 9 years old. looking up at his sisters, just getting blasted, all kinds of names. And he calls me and he puts the phone on so I can hear the situation. And I'm thinking to myself, like, was I that parent to just blast them and not see their perspective? And did they learn that from me? Or because the old me now would have been like, "Hey, buddy, listen, you gotta be careful what you put things in the dishwasher. It's glass. I'm not gonna let you clean it up. I'll clean it up myself." And that would have been the end of it for me. But now my older children are blasting him, so I'm thinking to myself, was that a reflection of how I handle situations? Was I always straight to judge and expect them to know better versus developing them to be prepared to handle situations in the dishwasher? Did I give a brief of the dishwasher to everyone? Does everyone understand how to use a dishwasher? And it just what I'm getting to is, did I prepare them to use that machine correctly? And for those that weren't prepared, that are being reprimanded for it, is it a better way than screaming at the top of your lungs to someone who just busted it up? The old me, I was questioning, hey, would I have yelled at him the same way they did? Versus a new me would have broken it down to him on by the numbers. Hey, you read directions, there's heat, there's water, there's moving parts in this machine, you got to be careful. And I was debating to myself, which mentor would I have been to him versus then versus now. And that's where I'm trying to lay out the question and experience that you may have had personally to you, how it was handled perhaps negatively with you, and how you would have brought it positively today because you're wiser, stronger, better mentor.
Okay. Um, it's safe to say that when you're growing up, you're you've probably been treated poorly in many cases, um, maybe unjustly, unfairly, and because you knew what it was, and maybe they couldn't see it from your perspective. They just knew they were right, so they kind of discipline you however they saw fit. The only thing that really changed for me, I wouldn't say change, but those situations informed me in a way that allowed me to have more or look for the nuance of the situation. Really, just look at a good example. So I was in gym class. I'm fresh knowing how to dunk and doing all this stuff, right? And I'm they're annoyed with me at this point in the gym. He's always showing off, right? so so we're in gym class, and this guy made this rule. Cornelius, he's a driving instructor. He was also a gym teacher at the time, and he's like saying, "Do not grab the rim." I'm like, "These are breakaway rims now. They're intended for you to grab and let go and still be fine, because they're meant to not break the backboard. And I guess we just got these glass backboards in there and whatnot, and it can sustain my weight. I'm not that heavy. It's not a problem, but nonetheless, we got a rule now. We in gym class, no grabbing the rim." And I'm like, "All right, fine." I'm in there. I'm playing
I'm
one on one
Air
with this
E.
kid.
I do what I want.
No, no, no. Hear me out. His back is turned.
Ah,
I scored. I guess the rim made too much noise. All right. He turned around. "I told you not to grab the rim. Get the clothes off. Stand over there. Blah, blah, blah. No more playing. Blah, 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 blah." Let me tell you something. Up to a year later, I went to this guy. I like, "Bro, I did not grab the rim." "You heard the noise and you just assumed I grabbed the rim." I'm like, "Bro, I didn't grab the rim. The people on the side telling you I didn't grab the rim. The dude I'm playing with, he told you I didn't grab the rim, but for some reason, you still think I grabbed the rim." And I don't know if he's still alive, but he was kind of slowing down a few years. The last time I seen him, I don't know if he's still alive, but yeah, every time I see him, bro, I didn't grab the rim. Bro, I didn't grab the rim. I still maintain that I did not grab the rim. Why would I lie to you up to now?
not
Why would I
enough.
still be lying about this? What do I have to prove? Why would I be lying about this right now?
Let it go. Let it go.
So here it is. things like that, and a lot of different things that might have popped up in life. You got to look at nuance and be like, listen, yeah, you know what you heard, but you didn't see it, and you have no evidence, and really you want to make an example of this situation, but really there's a chance that you could be wrong. And why would you then go headstrong in this direction because you think you know what happened, but you didn't actually witness it? So at that point, in any kind of situation that I'm faced with when it comes to my kids and stuff like that, as much as I just want to whip out the belt and it's like everybody getting
Absolutely.
some.
Everybody get it. Yes, that's the best part.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh, you
best
ain't do it? Oh, you still don't know who did it?
Okay.
Okay, everybody gets some. Just,
Yeah.
maybe next time you will pay attention
You have
and
some answers
know
to
who
my
did it and
questions.
all that, right? And as much as I would want to do that, at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna have to put up some cameras, and then when my camera catch you and you lie to my face, no, you get double. You get double because you lied to me, and you know, and maybe the other ones who knew about it too, and they're lying too. Oh, you get some for lying, and you get some because you did it and you lied. I always tell my kids, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna discipline you because you made a mistake, but I will discipline you for lying because
Yeah.
that's one thing we can't have.
Hmm.
Because one of these days you're gonna really need me to believe you, even though I don't have the evidence and all I have is your word. And if you
And I'm
have a
gonna look at
history
you
of
like,
lying, it's gonna be hard for me to take your word for it.
yep,
Which
facts.
is why, yeah, I can't have you lying and stuff like that. So even if they make a mistake, something bad, they broke something or whatever it is, just be honest, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna discipline you at least to the point that I have to show you that it's consequences for your actions, but it's not gonna be necessarily the height of severe punishment for doing that stuff. And I was trying to get them in the habit of, just be honest. I'm like, maybe you might not want to be honest to everybody, but when dad asks you,
Yes,
be
yes,
honest with me because
yes.
I'm
We in
gonna
this
protect
together.
you regardless,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
and you need to at least be honest with me so that I can know how to navigate a situation to at least not have you all the way messed up behind or whatever problem that you're faced with.
Nope.
And yeah,
In the streets,
so
we wrong together, and at home, we'll deal with it.
yeah,
That
exactly.
is a great point. Yep.
Well, I think there's going to be some backfiring with them cameras because you know that one strong-minded child. You
Yeah,
got cameras, Dad. Check the cameras.
no, that's fine. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with
Why
that.
you,
If
why you asking me what happened? You got cameras. You know who did it.
My favorite thing about the lying part, though, my grandma told me this, and I I it stuck with me very young age, man. And I hate liars. She said, never trust a liar
oh,
because a liar will steal from you. Okay, cool. That makes sense. That makes sense. Never trust a thief because a thief will kill you. I thought, oh, okay, that went dark. Okay, so that way you can't trust a liar because they're pretty much a murderer in disguise. And I was like, ah, it adds up. It adds up. So I am not a fan of a liar, bro. Like, your kids, they're learning hormonal fear and confusion. But at a certain point, like you said, I just can't trust you, dude. Like you're just a little piece of and you're hurting us in public because now I can't defend you. Someone comes and say you took the ball, and we're like, hey man, how much is the ball? Because this little sucker is a liar, so he's probably stole it, and I don't want to have to kill you over it. So how much is the ball? And move forward that way. So yeah, honesty is very important, and that leads me to my next question.
Well,
What particular Oh,
I
you
didn't
didn't
get
go?
the.
Oh, Brandy,
oh,
No,
Brandy, we're
I
ready for
let
you.
y'all
What
go first.
question?
I
But
wanted to see if
you
y'all
live the
forgot
perfect
about me.
life.
Y'all forgot
You
about
live
me.
the
Y'all got it.
perfect life. So I didn't think you had any reprimandation at all. You in Flint, Michigan. All you had was the bad water, the poor weather. Other than that, it was good.
I was born in the dog. What was the question again, man?
The question is, for example, in your childhood, you were being reprimanded for something that you may or may not have done incorrectly. If you were put in that same situation today with your wisdom, with your child or your loved one, would have you gone to that extreme of the discipline, or would you have handled it with a different level of insight or maturity?
Um, well, it's levels to it because I grew up in a family business. My parents, they owned a collision shop, so
He's
there's a certain
rich,
set of, huh?
rich.
Okay, you don't know about overhead. All right, so
Charge what it costs.
yeah, everything. Look, when you paying bills, well,
No
as I
discounts.
as I
Not
learned, as I learned. So yeah, everything costs. You know, especially my father is the type of person. He's the book, and everything stops with him. You know, he's the help when everybody needs help. He's the help. Now, who's going to help the help? I don't know. His dad's the help. He's that kind of
yeah,
guy.
like 50 Cent
Uh,
said, who am I gonna call? Call myself?
that's him. He's the
Uh,
call himself person, and I'm still blessed to have him, so I get to call him. Um,
then
so
you're the problem.
hey, probably so, but the way that things were handled, levels to it. So I learned them from being in the family environment of business on how he treated certain workers. You know, some of them were alcoholics, some were drug addicts, but the work had to be done, and they were the ones to do it. And then it was how things were dealt with at home. I have a different father today that I had 30 years ago.
Me too.
Complete-
I definitely do as well.
Completely different man. I don't even know who he is or where he came from, but he was all of that stuff was on his shoulders so much when he was dealing with all of it that the happiness and the laughter and the stuff that we have now, I didn't get to see that then. But it taught me how to have dedication to something. Like he would have me working on birthdays and holidays and everything. What's Christmas? What's Thanksgiving? It's still bills. Um, what does that mean? It's like the bills ain't going nowhere, so we gotta take care of them. Who gonna pay them? So get in there and do what you need to do. Uh, so the way that I would handle things now, I have
Give
to
us
go
an
off.
example. Tell us a story. Take us down the rabbit hole.
I have to go off the young adults and the kids that I helped raise this in this last 7-year cycle or 8-year cycle.
Nice.
I because they weren't my children, I didn't have the authority to physically discipline them when they would do crazy stuff. But I would still have to give them discipline of some sort. So I would communicate. My communication was something that I had to use, something completely different. If I had the opportunity, I would have whooped some of the skin off them kids for some of the stuff they did. But I'm appreciative that life gave me the opportunity or put me in a space. He done took the belt off and showed it.
You gotta keep it handy. You wouldn't know anything about that. You know
Oh
for that, right?
wow! Look at y'all. Hey, what's the number
You
to
wouldn't
CPS?
understand anything about that.
Look, they
I sentence you to 50 lashes.
did y'all just watch Pootie Tang or something?
No, look, and it's real leather. And this is the warning. This isn't the braided one.
Is that actual oxtail over there?
Mine's got ridges inside.
Yes,
Oh my
yes,
goodness.
Ah!
yes.
So
Discipline.
look,
Always keep it handy.
I didn't. Look. That's what happens when the seed is yours.
And we didn't even have to get off our chairs. You saw that? Player.
Y'all ready?
Put it
Y'all
back
ready?
on. Still sitting down.
I'm still looking. I don't have one in sight.
Now you got to have that on top.
Yeah.
Man,
Just having it
y'all.
around
That's
makes
when they
them
act
behave
up. As
better.
soon as whenever that threat of violence ain't around, they start
Mhm.
acting up. We're like, oh, we
Yeah.
got time.
I'm supposed to walk around the house with it, and I'd hear them say, "We should clean our room. I think that's what we should do, right?" They just
So,
get motivation.
what was the worst going to y'all in y'all
Yeah.
childhood? What was the worst thing you got whooped with?
You didn't tell us your story though.
Look, y'all don't want to hear the story, so I'm just going along with
No,
what's
we
going
won't
on.
hear it.
Look,
What?
y'all
I'll write it down. What did we get whooped with? And you go ahead and finish your story. We come back to it.
Yeah.
look,
Bam.
y'all done already put the stamp on. He has no children. He has no story. Blah. Like,
No, because stepfather is another issue. That's another level of
Wait,
mentorship.
wait. Stepdad?
I wasn't married to her, but yeah, 8 years of their life, 7, 8 years of their life. Yeah, heck yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Right? That sounds terrible.
No,
It
that's
was
a story,
painful.
bro. Go ahead. We won't hear this.
Yeah,
Look,
I'm 4 years into
don't give me
something.
sympathy
It's
now. Y'all
unique.
didn't want no sympathy.
No. It's a learning lesson for us
Hey,
and anybody else who's listening. So yeah, please.
yes, let's share.
Wonderful woman, good kids, but they were children. You know, some headaches when they were headaches. But I couldn't put hands. I couldn't choke them like Homer Simpson to Bart.
You couldn't fast forward their discipline.
Oh my goodness. So one, the boy, he would jump out when he got of age to be able to, his armpits and his nose was wide open. He would jump out of the second story window
Whoa.
and run or jog or whatever, however he got there, to see his girlfriend. And you
How
know,
about a PUSSY?
good gracious.
We all
So-
been there. We all been there. Go ahead.
Where you been? Playing basketball?
Whatever it was. So, you know, his mom, she having conniptions, wondering what's going on, don't know what's out. And I'm trying to figure out, because his girlfriend lived in a very she lived in the projects. So he was going to the projects and
In the Flint winter? That must have been some good stuff.
they still together.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, there you go.
Hey, look at
They're
that.
still
That's
together.
cool.
So I admire him for sticking. Hey, she ain't going nowhere as long as he can help.
Yeah, all those bad knees from jumping out the window.
Yeah.
Stuck with me now.
I don't know if you actually saw the whole jump and land, but I'm assuming he did a barrel roll to save his knees.
I don't know what he did, but this kid, I remember I was being very vocal to him, and because he was got in his mom's face and talking crazy and all this stuff, and so I'm like, that was a no. So I fledged up to him, blah 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 blah, and he wanted to pump his chest a little bit, so I gave him a little shoulder. Why this boy called the police on me for giving him a shoulder? I'm like,
Child abuse. You was a man 5 seconds ago.
right. You wanted all the smoke.
Oh,
Every last little bit.
he was baiting you. Like, huh? You ready? You ready? He was flocking his wings and everything. Like, yo, boy, I'm ready.
All of the smoke.
Police.
And when they got there,
Adam,
I'm like, I'm about to go. This ain't even my child. I'm about to go to jail for somebody else's kid that I'm
Yep.
trying to save their life.
And they're gonna tell everybody he's a pedo. Yep. As soon as you walk in
Oh
there.
wow.
Oh
Listen,
man, he touched me.
yeah. Nah,
Why
never,
you touch that little boy?
Boy,
never. But the officer looked at him like he was in that.
right here.
Did he actually hit you?
This is the big one. I'm coming, Mary.
Look, y'all just got me on here to clown me. Then
No.
No, this is good.
This is good. This is good stuff.
yeah, for your for your humor.
No, bro. All jokes aside, that's a serious situation. It's a
Yeah,
serious
it's
situation.
terrible.
We can't lie.
That's terrible. I don't know what I
We
would
laughing
leave.
though because you're not in jail.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So that's cool. So
yeah.
it's kind of funny now, but at the
Yeah.
time, I'm sure you were like, "Yo, this is," you know what I mean? So,
Man,
wow.
I wanted to really, really whoop his tail then, because if I'm about to go to jail, I want it to be for something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know.
That's
So, but the
There's a
officer,
popular saying in the space that says,
so
"Responsibility without authority is slavery."
so
So
so tell the story. What did the officer say? I want to hear what the officer said.
the officer was like, "Are you serious? Did he actually whoop you? Did he put his hands on? No, he just bumped into." So the officer left. Like, man, don't call us no more, type stuff.
Then you should have slung him one in the gut. I
I
got a
would
free one.
say I would say for that situation, like I was saying earlier, is like you can't be crying wolf and lying and stuff like that. Because one of these days you're gonna need somebody to believe you without a shred of evidence. And
Mhm.
if you've been making these false accusations or making a mountain out of a molehill all this time, that same officer is gonna see your name pop up on a list and it's gonna be a hard time believing you at that point.
Mhm.
And it's gonna be that same time when you really need him to believe you, and it's gonna be messed up. So I would try to get that across to that kid as best as regardless of whatever reason that he feels like he's mad or whatever it is. He needs to understand that you play that game enough times, one of these days you're gonna need that help and it ain't gonna come.
Yeah, but that was years ago. I'm no longer with her. We've been separated for what 4 or 5 years now. Yeah,
Okay.
so that was a while back.
Nice,
But
nice.
that was a
You
learning
still in
experience.
contact with the boy?
Yeah, we cool, but not in contact. Not in contact, but we cool. If I call him, he'll pick up. And if he calls me, I'll pick up.
Okay.
But that was another part of it. I would never. Let me never say never, but I would prefer not to date a woman with children ever again.
Okay.
Well,
I
you
don't
got a
want that.
clean slate, so you should expect a clean slate.
Well,
But
what
that's
led
not.
you to do it? Let me ask you that. Why did you do it to begin with? Being a person who doesn't have kids.
Uh, because she saw some things I was dealing with without me having to speak, and she reached out to me and helped me, and that kind of turned the tide on me, open my eyes and looking at her in a different light. So uh I was going through some stuff, and she just asked me she asked me what was going on, and I didn't really tell her nothing, and she's like, well, I know you enough to know that something's going on, but let me know if I can help you. And I got all these people that are close to me that don't even realize what's going on with me, and they standing right next to me. So it really
Endeared you to her.
yeah. And I think it was also trauma bonding too.
Okay.
So but she is a wonderful person when it comes to the way she was committed and how she catered. Um, but you know, when you're dealing with someone else's children and you don't have any authority to do whatever it is that you feel you need to do to make sure what you can do to make success happen, it's very strenuous. And then
Yeah.
you,
Put you in
to
handcuffs.
right, and then to love the kids, that's even more painful when they're gone because they go with the
Yeah,
mother.
because you build a bond with them, and so
Yeah,
you're not just losing her, you're losing the kids too.
right. So it was very, very uh I'm over it. I can't even say that I'm all the way over it. It's been 4 or 5 years, because it's like I lost a whole family.
You
Yeah.
just not my shit though, dude.
Yeah, no, it's
So that
not.
that extension ain't working.
If
My
you could
laptop
do it
just
all
died.
over again, or you could have talked to yourself prior, would you
Damn, dude,
have
you just
gone
kicked
that
everything
route?
off, man.
Or
John, you still there? We
John,
still hear you. You
we
just
can hear
frozen.
you, but your video is frozen.
You just got a Suge Knight face going on.
Like what does it matter? You did it either way when you hit the cord.
John,
Put yourself
do you
on
hear
mute.
us?
I'm gonna put him on mute. Okay, I put him on mute. So what was the question again, Mr. E?
I was asking about if you could talk to yourself, go back in the past and talk to yourself, would you have done it again?
No. Nope. Not even a little bit. I
So
would've
safe
just-
to say that situation was traumatic enough to not even entertain it if you could go back in the past and change things.
No, it's just the whole idea. I don't want to deal with a woman that has children. I don't want to deal with a woman that's been married before. I've never been married, don't have children. If I could go back in time, I would just stick with women that fall in the same category I'm in, single, completely.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with somebody that a woman that dated you and dated John, and then I got to deal with what y'all did to her, and because y'all was married to her and got kids with her,
Sure.
and now I gotta, John, what did you do to this woman? What's going on? She like, and then why is the
Fast trauma is a
hallway
thing.
so large?
Well,
Fast trauma is a thing.
I don't think a single guy who's childless should ever be entertaining a relationship with a woman who was previously married and a single mom, nothing like that. Don't even do it. Don't do it to yourself. I think you're selling yourself short if you do that. I mean, I'm not saying these women can't be wonderful women. I'm sure there's hearts of gold out there and just fantastic in beauty and personality and nurturing and all of that. That is fine, but she is coming to the table with a bigger deficit than you, as far as the things that's in the past. You got regular situations of life in the past. You don't have human beings that came out of you that you were raising and all this type of stuff. I mean, you kind of had that situation right now, so you're almost like a divorcee.
So
But,
that part doesn't bother me. I think this is the biggest thing, and this is what most
Okay.
people don't see is so. I don't have a problem because I did it for 7-something years.
Okay.
I wouldn't take it away, but would I do it again? No. So I'm never first in line. So for me,
Yes, you are in one area, which is marriage and childbearing. You would be first in line.
I'm saying
Outside of that,
in-
no, there's no guarantee. No.
in the relationship with a woman with children, I'm never first in line.
You mean I
Oh,
know
yeah,
exactly
okay.
I know exactly
Yeah,
what
yeah,
he's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. It's
I hear what you're saying.
So
what do
I'm-
they
I'm-
want? What do I want? Then what does he want? Like
it's the
that's
children.
how that goes. Mhm.
Absolutely.
It's the children's fathers, is life issues, and then whatever hour, 2 hours, or 15 minutes I get that's passionate is passionate because she gets to be with somebody that's not giving her the same issues that everybody else is until everything compiles, and then you become part of the issues.
Facts. 100% facts.
So
That's exactly how it
that's
goes.
why 'cause I wouldn't take anything away because that woman is one of the reasons why I when I was going through that space of mental anguish and pain, partially dealing with the military service, I say she helped save my life. And
Okay.
she was very intricate in helping me grow and see some things about myself that I needed to.
I have
So
a
I
similar
wouldn't take that
experience.
away.
Just
But
about
would I
identical.
do it again? No.
Okay. She served a purpose for that point in your life.
Yeah, and if she wouldn't have left, I wouldn't have. If she wouldn't have chose to go, I would still be with her. Because I'm like this. I committed to it. This is what I chose. I'm not about to run from nothing. I chose it. So
And I
that's
wouldn't
why I
even
don't want
say
to deal with women
Men
that
usually don't leave. Men are usually
understood.
committed.
And that's why
right
I don't
out.
want to deal with a woman
Uh-huh.
that's been married before because she knows how to leave.
Okay, that's fair.
That's strong right there too. So
That's fair.
I say right on all counts except for serve the purpose. The reason why I say the purpose is because at that time they may have been fully committed. It maybe have served the purpose now because it's past, but they were in it at that time as deep as they could go. And it's the point that you kind of can't blame the ones that are not malicious because they do have to survive in that cycle. Because at the end of the day, it is their responsibility. And you know that you are kind of the variable. You can grow if you want to. So there is that anchor or that one closed door that's not available to you because of that option. So there is a protective factor in there, and then there's a maniacal factor. So you know, us, we are like, oh, which one is it? Are they just being protective or they're being maniacal? So it's hard to be on that seesaw.
Yeah. So just some housekeeping stuff. We have an hour and 15 minutes on this.
Okay. What are we going to?
Responsibility.
How many more
Spanking
questions?
situation. Worst spanking situation you was talking about before we went into this topic that we were cleaning up.
I think you
Yeah.
covered it.
So
Yeah, it was the police, right?
how many more questions do you have?
Oh, well, I have eternity of questions, but I have
Oh,
Oh,
one
he
that
yeah.
can wrap.
so he did a spanking situation. Oh, you didn't
Yeah,
do
yeah,
your
yeah.
spanking situation. I didn't do
No,
mine.
I wanted to know what was the worst whooping y'all got. What was the worst thing you got
Oh,
whooped
the
with?
worst.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what.
oh, what?
Yeah.
Let's see. Jesus, so many.
I'll give you top three.
I don't have
Uh,
a top three. I just got one.
Go ahead, do yours while I think of mine, because I was always getting my butt whooped as a regular.
I don't know if I should tell this story, but
It's not like we're live or anything.
Right.
yeah, I see a big red light say live, so you can't really fool me
So
on
they
that.
walked in on you when you were 15 and you had the magazine open and
Nah, nothing like that. Uh, so a neighbor of mine was he kind of retrieved some uh bikes. And I
Maybe-
I didn't make that up. That's exactly what it was. That's bikes. You gotta understand this is before cell phones and high tech stuff that we're dealing with today. So it's bikes. Coolest thing a kid could ever want, right? Cool bikes. So we
BMX,
race
baby.
bikes. This is all pastime, you know. We're the
Yeah,
bikes
that's
racing
it
and taking them apart, spraying them. You know, that's kind of it's the coolest thing you can have at that age, right?
for sure.
Outside of maybe a Nintendo or something, right? And I don't even think we were even that big at the time. But anyway, um, so one day, you know, I'm practicing my skills in basketball because I'm that guy. I'm trying to go to the NBA, right? I'm outside, and one day, you know, the neighbor, uh, probably best friend at this point, he comes by on the sidewalk. We have like a wall kind of dividing us, and then there's a sidewalk on the opposite side from me. And he says, "Hey, what's up? What's up? You know, you got." He said, "Hey, you want a bike?" I'm like, I'm looking at him like the side eye, like, bro, you don't even have one bike. How are you offering bikes? Right? All right. You know this story is gonna go bad already, right? So he's like, yeah, man. I got a bike I could give you. I'm like, bro, how do you have a bike to give away? He's like, man, I got 3 bikes. I'm like, you got 3 bikes. He's like, yeah, I got 3 bikes. I'm like, well, okay. So where'd you get these bikes from? You know, he's like, man, I got it up the street. I'm like, up the street.
You know,
So I'm
bike
like,
stop up the
so
street.
I'm investigating, all right, because I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like, what's the chances I could get this bike and everything is gonna be all right, right? So he says, yeah. So I stole it from some of these people's homes up the street. I like, you stole them. Why'd you steal them? You're like, well, they were just there. They're just there.
They
Okay.
always are. As they
So
always are.
you get your hand down, you're really thinking about this thing. So, well, can would it be okay if I get this bike? I'm like, he already stole it, right? Ain't like we gonna give it back. So ain't gonna be no harm if I just take the bike, right? Looking around, ain't nobody out here. It's dark, my neighbor, we boys, we ain't nothing could go wrong with this. So I'm like, yeah, I'll take a bike. Let me get that big one. And I like, no, that one's for me. You can have the small one. I'm like, all right, well, a bike is a bike, right? All right, give me the small one. Next day, we out there scraping the bike down. We like, because we're getting ready to go racing with this thing, right? In the distance, we could kind of see somebody like crossing the on the sidewalk down the road. Who is it? Neighbor on the big bike. And I'm like, I ain't call no names, but we looking at each other. You're like, did he scrape the bike? Did he change the color? Did he do anything different to the bike? The bike looked exactly as it did when he stole it. I'm like, all right, well, that's his problem. If he doing that foolishness, then we go back to working, clean up this bike, because we're like Vin Diesel now, right? We robbing now, right?
It only takes one.
I obviously my contribution was simply accepting a bike. That's the extent. That's the extent of my burglary, right? So I'm just accepting something from some kid that I figured it's not a big deal, right? And one day, we hearing word through the grapevine that the owners of the bike is looking for the bike. They're talking to the neighborhood kids, and he robbed from a neighborhood over. So I'm like, well, I guess we're safe, but you know what? Just in case we're not, let's get rid of these bikes. No, get rid of it. Because I'm already sniffing the poles around the corner, right? I'm like, listen, it's time for us, pull the ripcord.
And this crime
We're
wave.
done. We're done. We're no longer in the bike business.
We're shutting the mafia down.
Hey, yeet, yeet, yeet. I'm like, we're done. We're done. But homie is still up and down with this bike, and they don't kind of like him like that in certain parts of the neighborhood. So when they heard yeah,
stealing.
they're like, we know somebody that got a bike that look like that. Yeah, we know who he is. He lives over there. So I guess this guy, he didn't get the memo. He's still riding up and down with the bike. La, 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 la. So I hear that he gets stopped in the middle of the road with the bike. And the guy jumped out and said, yo, that's my bike. If you don't get in here right now and tell us where the rest of these bikes are, we're going to the police. We're going to handle this right. And so I hear the news, and I'm like, let me go in the house and go read my Bible, because clearly this has nothing to do with me. Anyway, I'm just having, TGI Fridays, just how we just chilling out. So a car pulls into our yard, and they're asking for me. And at that age, you don't have friends that drive. All right. So somebody asking for me. I would say I was probably around 12 years old.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So car pulls in and asking, looking for, my sister's like, they're calling you. So, I'm rushing outside, like trying to keep the danger away from my house as quickly as possible. I'm like, hey, whoa, wait. what y'all doing here? You know, type of
How can I help
and
you?
homie jumps out of the car and he runs up to my porch and he says, "Hey, yo, they catch we." And I look at this man like, "What do you mean they catch we?"
Not us. Good sir.
So like I'm in my head, I'm like, no, they didn't catch we, they caught you. Why are you here to my doorstep? Anyway, long story short, you know, I'm getting whoopings, Olympic style. Hey, you know what you doing? At that point, and
Cool style.
and then I'm in the middle of the night searching for all the bike parts to come give it back to the people. Well, anyway, because of notoriety of my family at that point, I have to end up giving all 3 of the bikes back by myself. Those other guys nowhere to be found, and the story is I robbed all the bikes. That's what it was. Yeah. Him. He's the one. He stole all of them.
So now you done became the stick up kid.
Now I'm the fall guy now for all of this type of stuff. So yeah. So, you know, I'm showing up there all battered and bruised. Here's your bike. And then my parents there trying to explain to these people like I don't know what got into him, you know, this type of way. And I'm like, yeah, you'll never do this again. And you know. So I'm like, so I'm taking the blame for what this guy did and all the bikes and all this type of stuff. And I'm like, I wasn't the one that got caught. This dude got caught. He apparently, oh, that guy he was the ringleader. Yeah, he's definitely that guy. That type of way. And so I learned my lesson at that point, and I said to myself, you know what? Never again. Never again. Your boy, Mr. E, doesn't have any friends when it comes to crime. I am snitching on everybody. You come,
Oh wow.
you come across to me. I'm like, what?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm telling. Don't come to me with a crime. I'm telling.
That is sad. That is sad to know. Well, I'm gonna delete you from my emergency list.
No.
So, what was that one movie? Hey,
No.
I got something I
If,
gotta do.
if you're trying to
I-
implicate
you
me,
can't ask me
I'm
about
like,
it.
no, don't come to me. Don't come to me with crimes because if it comes to me going to jail or not, I am telling. Yes, sir, I'm telling.
Mm-mm-mm.
I know the homies don't believe in that type of stuff because they feel like, oh man, how you gonna tell? I'm like, bro, come on,
No, Charleston White
come
said
on,
it best. He
don't
says,
do it,
I'm not a
don't do
criminal.
it.
No, Charleston White said, I'm not a gang member. I'm not a
I
criminal.
am not a gang member. I don't
I don't
operate by
abide by
gang
these no
rules.
snitching rules.
No,
Exactly.
I
For
believe
facts.
in no snitching. I'll tell you this. A nephew of mine, he told me that straight to my face. Yo, no snitching. And I told him like, okay, so you telling me that if your friend found out that your bike was stolen and he could tell you who stole your bike, he shouldn't tell you?
Man, I've been around people like that. The
Like,
so-called friends. I've been around that.
snitching.
I've been around that. But it's hard
It's
because they're friends
situational.
with both.
I'll say
They're
that it's
friends with both,
situational.
you know?
It really depends. It
Yeah.
really depends.
Like I can't snitch on my cousin because he read from my friend. So it's like, you know, or,
It
or
kind of comes down
associate
to where your loyalty is.
for sure, for sure.
Is it with your family?
Or to
And
yourself.
I don't mean outside family. I mean like if it's your kid, and you know, if your kid has a challenge, and you have information that they need, is that considered snitching? If you tell your kid, yo, this is the truth of the situation right here. These people expecting me to keep my mouth closed, and where's my loyalty to my kid or to that situation outside? That's not snitching. That's you protecting your family. You know what I mean? And if you
Absolutely.
got to go to if you're a dad and you got to either keep your mouth closed and end up in jail and lose access to your children, are you talking or you keeping your mouth closed? I'm like, I think that's a no-brainer at that point. And if somebody call you a snitch because you
Grandy, you
want to stay
watching
in
the screen?
your kid's family, that's just silly.
Say again.
Yeah,
You added an
I could
extra
see this
screen.
I see another window right now.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
popped
Yeah.
up.
I was wondering. So this, you saying this wouldn't be you right here? Can y'all hear?
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
What car are we taking?
Which car we
I
gonna
know.
take?
I know this. I know this clip. And
I'm definitely the what car we taking, guy.
here's what my experience of running into this problem and how I could kind of rationalize it. If this guy came up to me and said, I got these bikes, and obviously I wasn't wise enough to turn the bike down at that point in life, because and I know a lot of people might hear it and be like, nah, a bike, I don't get it. Well, think of it as something that would be the most important thing up to that point. Maybe to a young kid, might be an
Oh man,
iPad or a iPhone or
a
something like
bike
that,
is
or
would it be more important than your shoes, than your jewelry,
it
your
might be
clothes?
your sneakers. It might
Yeah,
be a girl's
no.
phone number that that you lost,
A bike is
and
freedom.
some
It's
guy.
transportation. It's your first
No,
step.
It's
no,
trans-
man. You
it's very meaningful to a
what
kid
they're
at that
trying to
point in
say is
life.
that was like a part of your
Yeah,
culture. Like
it was a
you had
big
a
deal.
bike,
Is my point.
you built your bike, you had special spray. Like this bike
Yeah,
was you. And
That's
if
what I'm
someone
saying.
took it from you,
I'm
like you had
agreeing.
to get it back. And if you
I'm
stole
agreeing.
it
If
from other people, it was kind of like, man, I can't even explain it. It's a
a
culture,
horse
and it's
thief,
still going on. Because my
like a
son was
horse thief.
involved with some situations with bikes. So St. Croix is still semi into bikes, man. It is because the island is relatively small. So you can get pretty far on a bike. And then you challenge other neighborhoods. It was essentially Fast and Furious before it's Fast and Furious for bicycles.
So y'all do
Literally.
bike buys instead of drive buys.
We do whatever it takes on bike. Whether you got the bikes that race, you got the bikes that just look pretty.
Man, that was a
Uh,
joke. You taking it too serious. I'm look,
no, because it is
because
serious.
you
Because see,
probably did a bike buy.
see,
he said a bike by it.
it's like
So essentially, in that situation, had I been smart enough not to trust that situation, would I have told on him that he was the guy? No, I wouldn't have told on him. But because it implicated me, and what's the message behind this whole story is essentially what I'm trying to get at is this, presented to snitching in the whole nine is, had I been in his shoes, not necessarily doing what he did, but because he was in trouble at that point, would I have gone and told on the other guys who was a part of that situation, being the person who created the scenario that caused this situation to begin with in the first place? No, I would not have told on them, mainly because I was the reason that whole thing went down. So when that situation came to my doorstep, I was kind of shocked and taken back, because I'm like, I would have never done that to this guy at that point, because I would have had to take in that situation on the chin, because I'm like, okay, I'm the cause of it. I'm the source. It was my idea. I'm the one that did the distribution. Those guys really didn't have anything to do with the situation outside of me handing them something that was essentially a gift at that point, even though it was merchandise that wasn't necessarily mine, being in his shoes. So why would I then bring that drama to their doorstep, knowing that I am the reason for that drama in the first place? In that regard, no. I'm essentially making those guys go down for my crime at that point. And that's why I'm like, nah, if I'm in his shoes, no, this is the definition of snitching, in my opinion. Well, in a
mhm,
different way, but
yeah.
I would be snitching if
No,
I go
actually,
back to
that
those
was a
guys
rat.
and tell
No,
on
no,
them
no,
that they
no, that
were a
was a
part
rat.
of my situation that I created, to try
No,
to
no, he
lessen
wasn't a
my.
snitch. He was a rat.
Yeah,
He saved himself when
he
he
was
was
trying to
a
save
part of it.
himself
A
by.
snitch is Grundy watching from the top of the show, the staircase, like, oh, there go those boys right there, and he make the call. That's a snitch. He was involved in the situation, and at the end of the day, he's a dirty rat.
Well,
So yeah,
I've never
for instance,
snitched
then, bro, nah,
on
I
anybody,
couldn't mess with
and
him.
I've never been a rat. I've never had any concealed court cases where private judges or special
The fact
juries,
that you know all of these terms is very suspicious.
I
Very,
live in a community that has one of the highest rates of
very
informants.
suspicious
Of
that you
informants.
and the judge is like this. So I don't understand your terminology. But
Yeah.
yeah, great point there on lessons learned. Wrong mentorship, obviously, but it led to a positive where we know not to call you for nothing. Criminal, right?
Um, it depends. It depends. As
Of
much as I
course.
say, as much as I say that, I kind of reserve that type of mentality and judgment for situations where I know that I'm built different. All right. I feel like if you did the crime, then you should do the time.
Do the time.
And if you're not of that mentality, and I don't know if a person would be of that mentality, which is why I can't trust somebody to have that same mentality. My lesson in that situation is that we're not built the same. We don't have the same tolerance for situations like that where we know if we're accountable to the situation in where we might have done something
Well,
wrong at work.
let me give you a God forbid scenario. A God
Yeah.
forbid somebody calls you and said, "E,
Uh-huh.
they took my child,
Okay.
and I need you to help me go get my child, and we're gonna have to
Okay.
do some things to get to my child
Uh-huh.
because the police not helping."
Okay.
And they told me I gotta come up with $20,000, but I don't have nothing but $100 in my bank account.
Yeah.
I got unmarked this, unmarked that, and I got the plans to do it. Are you gonna help? Now, this is one of your closest friends in life.
Okay. So
Someone you have relationship with.
okay. So that person I had a relationship, like I said, childhood friend. Known all my life up to that point.
Dang.
Turns out
He did you
we
like
weren't
that?
we weren't we weren't operating from the same rule
Yeah.
book. All right.
Alive. Yep. Been there.
So total betrayal. You understand? In that situation, the only reason I wouldn't trust it is because it's not my plans. My plans would be for one, everybody to survive. Two, accomplish the mission and be successful at the mission. Nobody's going to jail. And I know I have a high expectation on that whole situation. And because I know I'm not the one who created the plan, I don't trust it. So will I get myself involved in that type of situation? If I'm the one who put it together and I could be assured that the outcome is going to be what we expect it to be,
So you saying the
with
kidnappers are going to
low
survive
chance
too?
of failure, then yeah, I would definitely help them out. But just understand that it ain't gonna be no damn, yeah, you know what, man, yeah, he was a part of that too. I'm like, nah, you need to die now because it's happening 2 times in my life. All right, nah, if you say you about that life, and we doing talking about stuff now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now,
It is
if you
tough,
coming in
man.
saying you about that life, when police show up, don't change your tune now. That's what I have an issue with.
Yeah. I've I know we are off subject with mentors, but let's
Yeah.
tie it back into mentorship.
No, it was
But
supposed to be about whoopings, man. I don't even know what kind of
yeah,
whooping
yeah.
No,
you got.
Oh,
He
hold on,
just,
hold on.
well,
I got it. I
okay.
got you. I got
The
you. I got you.
whooping is a
you
Yeah, he
said
result
got
it
a
gave
of
you
whooping
a
because he
lump
followed
people
whooping.
his
not
best friend.
being what is supposed to be, and as a result, you end up in a situation, and what's your lesson learned from it? And I know y'all wondering like, damn, can I call E because he said about the snitch? So yeah, we ran off into the bush a little bit, but essentially it's the same situation where if somebody is, if somebody ain't about that life, man, don't mess with him. And unfortunately, it's gonna take a real situation for you to find out if that person is gonna ride for you in a situation like that. And getting whooped is part of the situation, but are you gonna maintain those loyalties in the face of controversy and some sort of negative situation that pops up? And unfortunately, you're not going to find out until that situation does happen. And unfortunately, it might not be a situation that you can come back from when you find out. And in that
Yeah.
situation, I say have your loyalty with the people that's loyal to you. And if you can't put your neck out there for them in a way that you know it won't come back, then you're taking a major risk, because this might be when you find out that they ain't operating on the same playbook that you got.
And it only takes once.
Yeah.
Yep. So I do like the part where you said if I'm not heavily involved in the creation of the plan, I can't go down with it because your level of caution and my level of caution is different.
Two different things.
So with the now, thank you for sharing that. I get it. I'm pretty sure you got jacked up really good that day. Um, so my whooping story is I was a joyrider. And this my mom worked the night shift at Hess Hovenza, a refinery at one point, so she slept all day. And then Pops worked with kids during the day, so that left a very large window for me to take Mom's whip around the block. And I used to do this
We talking about
often.
cars now, or is it still bikes?
No, this is cars. I was
Okay.
taking my mom's cars. And it was to the point where they were hiding keys from me. Like I was just like, it was just ridiculous. Like just challenge, right? And I was getting better at it, better at it, because I would take it at night, I'd take it during the day, so I was becoming a better driver. So I'll be going faster, I do more stunts in the car, and I live right down the street from a park, Seinfeld Ballpark. I live very close to a park, so it's a big space to do donuts, and I'm whooping this car, man. And one day, I guess I think like at the peak of my skill sets, I go to my cousin's house and I blow the horn. And the way the property is set up, there's a house, and then his house is in the back. So if you blow the horn, it looks like my aunt is coming for him. So he came out like to see what's up, and he saw me in the car. He's like, "What you doing?" He said, "Go tell your mom that you're going with my mom. We going to the store real quick." He's like, he goes, he tells me, "Yeah, I'm going with my mom. She is nowhere near in this car. She is knocked out. I'm driving this sucker." So we drive out and then we hit the highway. Long story short, man, we are beating this car up for a good 30 minutes, whooping the shit out of this car. If you know anything about engines, it gets hot, right? So now I go back home, park the car right back. So what? I go around my house. I jump into my window because front door, I got a back window. I jump out my back window all the time. That's where I get out. I get up and out back window. Boom! I'm in my bed like, oof. Mission saved. My mom goes outside. She just comes in like I'm on fire and just starts introducing me to life lessons, right? And this goes on and on and on and on and on. And I'm like, in my mind, I say it can't be the car because I came in quiet, it's not the car. And then I come in, and after she's finished in introducing to me, I'm changing colors, I'm leaking everywhere, and she's got me like a little dog, bringing me out to the car. So this car is tingling and steaming, and like when you hear metal reshaping, like the tick, tick,
You blew the
so,
engine.
nothing about nothing. But this car is looking at her from the porch like, and the
What?
car is just sitting, the car is just sitting there with heat and stress coming off of the motor to the point she lift up the hood and this thing is still smoking. And yeah, that's it. That's probably the worst I got it. That ended my career as a joyrider for the family vehicles. Not other vehicles, of course, but I did practice a lot on about three of my parents' cars. And when I brought that sucker back the last time, that was the end of it for me. And they even left keys out for me. They're like, "Hey, big
Go
guy,
ahead, take it. Take it,
Yeah,
bro.
go ahead.
yeah,
Hey,
leave the keys
yeah,
off."
go ahead.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah, bro. It's safe. I promise.
Come
yeah,
on,
like,
Cletus. Come on, Cletus.
Go
yeah.
ahead, take
After
it.
that one, big ball on the kitchen table. Mm-mm. You touching that? Something wrong with those things. Mm-mm. So yeah, that was my mom was a cop, so she
You said she was
maneuvered.
a cop.
Yeah, she maneuvered me. She was whipping my ass, bro. This wasn't no
No, wait. Did
switch.
you say your mother was a cop?
Yeah, she was a cop for like 8, 9 years or something. So
I
she
thought she was
was
a teacher.
my pops was a teacher.
This answers a lot of stuff for me right here, man. Just
Anyways, it's not a stereotype, okay? I'm not the preacher's kid, all right? But yeah, dude, I that's I never touch your car again. Even can you back it up? Nope. I don't know how to back up cars. I don't want to do none of that. That's the that steering wheel is terrible. Who wants to sit there? Yeah, dude. I was a Cutlass. I first started on the Cutlass, and then she got a Taurus. The Taurus is the one where I put some work in on that Joker. It never ran the same after that. I'll tell you that. Um,
And
but
neither did you.
no, neither. I ran faster. Mama coming. But that would be my yeah. I was in there blood all everywhere. I was busted up, bro. It's a good day.
Learning life lessons. Gotcha.
Learning lessons.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And the car snitched on me. That's the end of it. That the car was just sitting there sulking. I didn't know at the time as a kid. I didn't know, like, hey, what you want me to do? I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I thought the car could take it.
Yeah.
So we're at 1 hour and 45 minutes, and it's 6:04. I do have other stuff I have to do.
Awesome.
And
All right, so let's do one lesson on mentorship. Just one last strike. Okay, how has mentorship helped you? And just finish with that. Short story of how mentorship helped you.
Mr. E,
Hello? Yep.
How did mentorship help me?
Yep. Short story. And how you carry it's a short story, and it's the biggest thing, one of the biggest things that you carry with today.
I had a comment that went sort of semi-viral, where when Timbaland was showing beats to Jay-Z, and he was going through like some classic beats, and then eventually got to one of those beats. I can't remember which beat it was, but it was one of his bigger hits. And this was when he was like a studio session, just listening to beats to kind of pick one for a song. I think it was Dirt Off Your Shoulder.
yeah, gone. That's the shoulder off.
Yeah. And Jay was like really getting into it, and then he shut it off, and he said, "Man, tell me which one you want," or something like that. And yeah, I do this, and blah 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 blah. So my comment was that they had what he did in that moment was what real estate agents do. Because one time I had interned for a real estate agent, and this guy was big on seasons. And what he would say is, certain part of the season you do this, and then a certain part you do that, and then you kind of go in cycles, right? And one of those cycles was where he would show properties in a certain sequence, same way he was showing off the beats. So I was explaining to people what just took place that I learned from this real estate agent, and he was for the most part a mentor to me, and I had a lot of learnings from him. But this was a cool one. Like 37,000 people click like on this comment, right? It's probably a lot more now. But anyway, what he was doing was he would go to show off the homes, and he already knows which home is going to line up exactly for this particular couple that he's showing properties to. But he shows them the worst to the okay, to the kind of better than okay, to the good. And then eventually we arrive to the one that he knows that he's going to love and going to be specifically what lines up for that particular person, right? And so I told him that, like, yeah, he's just showing you, he's just going through all the okay ones so you could get to the one that you're going to love. And then the reason he does it is because he wants you to feel like you were part of the process, like you didn't leave anything on the table, and that you didn't get to defend your money, so to speak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
you're a smart shopper.
what's this? This guy falling asleep.
Who fell asleep?
So essentially, I've taken a lesson with me throughout life. Wherever I see people, kind of whenever I see the play, I'm like, where they kind of showing me stuff. I'm like, bro, just get to the point. Show me what I'm here for. stop, stop putting me through this long line of stuff I don't like, so we could get to the one that I'm like, I get it, can we get there?
Yep. See through the smoke and mirrors. That's a
Yeah,
good
so
one.
yeah, I see through the nonsense a lot faster. And funny thing is in the comments, people are like, "Oh man, I never thought of it that way. I did, I'm a real estate agent and I never knew that." I was like, "Wait, what?"
Mhm. They're a terrible agent.
I was like,
That's
"Yeah,
lesson 101.
I don't know where to raise you, sir, but they should have definitely told you to do that."
Yep. It works for the most part. If they're serious buyers, it's a
Yeah.
process. And then there's also a technique that you could do double back. Like if you know they like that one, or if they whichever one they like, you say, "Hey, I forgot my keys at this one. You guys want to go check it real quick?" And then when they get that second entry, that's another technique as well. "Oh man, it just feels good the second time, doesn't it? Wow, okay, cool. Let's put in an offer."
Oh, okay.
Randy, you go. Because you skipped out on your butt whooping. Don't think I didn't notice.
Hey, look, y'all didn't want to hear it.
Sure, we want to hear.
Yeah. See, he collecting evidence. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
The whole
You got the
world is
ringleader.
collecting evidence right now.
You got the ringleader of the infamous Virgin Islands underground bike theft. We're finally got her.
Well, my neighbor hasn't heard my perspective on that story, so he might hear about it now.
40 years later. Come on, G.
Hey, the BMKs, the bike mafia kids.
Like
Gosh.
mafia.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. Everybody kind of had their kind of situation in their own home, but yeah.
So y'all was set up like a mini Chicago. Y'all neighborhoods was like, hey, don't come over here. Right, I dare you to ride that bike over here. Come on.
Oh, there are those neighborhoods there for sure. Those
Yeah,
existed.
Ride your bike over here.
Somebody robbed my bike, actually. My bike. Two of my bikes, actually. We got it back, but yeah, since then, again, the neighborhood kind of went this way. Divide, just kind of at that point, we're like, we don't mess with y'all. We don't mess with y'all. Mother, all of y'all over there.
You should join the military because nobody ever steals. People are just borrowing stuff. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't get permission, so we call that thievery.
Hey. So, mentorship, and mentorship. What was the question again?
Your one favorite mentorship nugget that you carry with yourself today.
The favorite mentorship. I don't know if I have a favorite mentorship nugget, but what I do appreciate is that people that my mentors are the people that I hang around. So like you're a mentor to me, and others that I are in my circle. I don't, I learned some stuff from people, YouTube University and some other things, but the mentorship comes to people that know me and know where my flaws are, or can point at my flaws and say, look, you're an idiot, you need to do better, and this is what you can do to do better. This is information that I think would fit you and fit your character and who you are, or the information you already have. To me, that's mentorship, is when people around you can help you grow based on them really knowing you. And I'm always trying not to be the smartest person in my circle. I'm always trying to find more, create opportunities for the people around me to get more information off of their strengths, so they can give me the information off of what they see as my strengths. And we mentor each other based on growing together. So I think that's my viewpoint of it, because I try to make sure I'm around people that they ain't got to be perfect people, but good human character. Like human character. Are you going to do right by people? You may be a very sociopathic, psychopathic person, but it's according to certain instances that happen. You know, like certain things happen, you might get a little off, but it's not intentional. It's only reactional, if that makes sense. Because in my environment and where I grew up, even though I had a nuclear family, as soon as I left them doors, all my friends were the ones that was dealing with all kinds of stuff, and the ones that was doing stuff just to do it, I didn't want nothing to do with that. You just want to hurt people. You just want people's pain, your pain, to be on other people. So for me, mentorship is what people teach you that are closest to you. You know.
Awesome. So for my mentorship, I've had so many positive mentors, and I can honestly say it was majority through the Marine Corps. Mentorship growing up, it was, looking back, it was survival. There was no true guidance. It was those that think they're helping you by throwing out these one-liners, and those that are helping you behind the scenes, feeding you, sheltering you, protecting you from dangers that you don't see. And then there's lesson learns mentorship, like, wow, I can't believe I was loyal to this group for that long, or to this person. And all the signs were there, but I ignored them because they knew my first name. And then I would say, to wrap that up, the biggest thing a mentor has taught me now is find a human in people. Innately, people want to be good. Give them the opportunity to be good first. Like, just regardless of how you meet them, how a small situation may have rubbed you the wrong way, don't brush it off. Brush it off, leave it alone, and just let people be inherently good. And I've had an issue with that, because the military is, if you're wrong once, you can't be wrong again. Like, fix it, you're done, you got your one chance, and that's it. And that stuck with me in the back of my head. I brought it home to my kids, I brought it home to my relationships, I brought it to my friendships. You can ask Grundy snaps me out of it sometimes when I'm explaining things. I guess I get short, and it's not my intention. Is just, for so many years dealing with no tolerance of human error, like, it something that I know I need to work on, I need to bring towards for others. And I see it come around positively sometimes, where we initially met, and our stars didn't align the first time, but then when we have another interaction, it works out so much better. And if I had taken it to 100 the first time that we met, we'd never have the second interaction to have a positive bridge between us. So patience, and let people be human, and be human myself when things aren't positive on the initial meetings, or even throughout long-term relationships. And that's what I took
I
from one of my mentors.
gotcha. I would say, based on what you're saying and what I know of you, you have to look at it like a clock hand. You got 3 different hands on that clock, right? One that goes around real fast, one that has a moderate pace, and one that slows, I don't know what, but they all work together to get to the time that we read. So in my experience with you, you catch on quick, you want to get stuff done now, and if you're taking too long, you're gonna leave. But what I believe that you learn is that it takes the other 2 hands also in order to get to the goals accomplished. And so you just have to make the pace according to you, and then put people in a space so everything meets up the way it needs to, if that makes any sense.
Makes excellent sense. I'm gonna steal that analogy one day.
And look, Mr. E, he talk about me. You're over there sleeping. He been asleep the whole thing. He got glasses on. We
You got his
can't see
shades on. That's why he making it seem like that's why he put him
I'm
on.
awake. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
All right, so we got last round. Last round. That's it. Everybody went.
I'm sitting too still. I got to move around. So you guys know
Yeah,
I'm here.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
All
right.
right.
What you saying is
Yeah.
amazing.
Well, those of you
Yeah.
watching, close it out. G, you want to close it out? You the host. Close it out.
Oh well, this has been an episode of Culture Echo Live, and we have Mr. John and Mr. E, and we did a collaboration with Out of the Mud INC, and this is George F. Grundy II, and we're looking to have them be a part of the Out of the Mud family through distributing their content and them helping to distribute ours. And we're just growing a network of good men, good fathers, good mentors, and uh, the initiative of being able to show that we are doing what we're supposed to do as we're supposed to do it to help our communities grow. And that's what I have to say.
Awesome. Thank you. Main purpose, skip over as many mistakes as you can. There is always bumps in the road, hills and valleys for everyone. However, if you can learn how to block, you're still gonna get punched in the face. But if you dodge most of them, you'll be better off and you move further along, and you have better coping skills that you can pass on for yourself. And we are going to be community based, reach one, teach one, and all things that we have out there, positive environment, and go peace and love, and, and traditional
My turn.
history.
Gotta say something. A
Yeah.
wonderful time, wonderful stream. Love everything that was said here today. We went into some personal stories, some unheard, some that we've never spoken to a whole lot of other people. So we're sharing it with you guys right now, and that in itself is a form of therapy for us, and a lesson learned for a lot of you guys who might have yet to encounter some of those experiences. I I don't know Grundy at all. This is like one of the second time I'm engaging with him right now. He seems to be a cool dude. I didn't know he was going to be here, but I'm glad he's here. He's definitely a great addition to what we're doing. And this man here in the middle, the one with the bald head, I had a mini bald head at one point myself. My hair grows back from time to time, so it's there right now. It's coming in. Okay, let's not show too much of that, but but yeah, John, I've known him from since junior high. His dad as well. Dad was a coach at my elementary school. Um, sorry, junior high. Lena Christian Junior High School. Been knowing him for forever and ever and ever. We had lost contact somewhere in high school, but then we had reconnected and been homies, you know, thick as thieves. Not literal thieves. I know we've been talking about thieving tonight, but
Stop
yeah,
talking.
that was a
Stop talking.
one
Get off
time
the mic.
that was a one time thing, sir. And I was in the major part of that. I'm just saying. I do not believe in thieving. I'm telling. Okay,
You sound guilty. You sound guilty right now, bro.
yes,
The thickest,
that's
just
right. I just want you to know I'm on the right side of the law, and I've always been ever since that day. And yeah, we've been cool. we've been cool homies ever since, and done nothing illegal at all since then. And I know it's
an honor.
I know it sounds as though I'm trying to say something that isn't true, but in reality, we've been really cool, and just for comedic value, I might just talk it up a little more like that. But in actuality, we've been on a straight and narrow as homies all the times that we've known each other, and you're laughing is not helping, sir.
Oh God.
I've been a very what am I trying to say right now?
That you're
Upstanding
innocent.
individual as a well, when okay, let me tell you why I'm so innocent, and I'm gonna tell you this is no guarantee of innocence, but I'm gonna let this might hint to how innocent I actually am. Um, most men don't get custody of their kids, right? I got custody of 3 of them, 2
Gangster.
boys and a girl. All right.
Gangster.
No,
At the
that might
first time.
that might yeah. it don't usually go down like that. I know I hear a lot of horror stories online as well as in my personal life and amongst friends
Congratulations
and stuff
again.
like that. So I know that Thank you. That could be somewhat of a unicorn situation because it doesn't happen that often. So a whole judge who really didn't like me still thought I should have my kids. Okay, so that should say I might be a little alright. I might not be the best, but I might be a little alright. A little alright.
Maybe she wanted to punish you by giving you the kids.
Maybe a little bit of that too. I am still recovering from all the damage that whole union has caused and stuff like that. We could get into that in another conversation, but
Next episode, for sure,
um,
for sure.
Or
yeah,
maybe they
yeah,
would
yeah,
they wanted you to stay responsible, so they gave the kids because they knew that you would stay responsible with the children.
yeah. Pretty much.
And I
Long
want
drawn
y'all
out
to one
story.
day talk about. I would like to hear y'all speak on because y'all from St. Croix, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that St. Croix is a place where a lot of people come and visit, right?
Seasonal.
Yeah. Seasonal. Yeah, that's the best way you can say it.
Seasonal
Seasonal.
people. So
Yeah.
I want y'all to talk to men that end up finding out 18 years later that the kids belong to y'all and not them, and how the women be coming to the island
Shirts. He
wanting
talking
stuff.
about shirts. He talking about shirts, Hanson.
I don't know what it's called, but I'm saying
Call him shut.
based on the what it
Yeah,
said.
man, shut.
Shut. That's how they
Yeah,
pronounce. They mean t-shirt, but they pronounce it as shut.
shut. Giving a man a shut. You want a
Man, they
shut,
say like,
Gandhi?
"Oh, you are the daddy. Here's this shirt."
Look, but they go back
Look,
home saying they had a wonderful girls trip.
I, my son looked like my baby picture, so it's hard for me to deny him.
Yeah, you from
Maybe
the
one of these
island. But
days
I'm saying
I'll examine them just to say I did it, but I don't have much doubt that they're mine.
what he's
Because
referencing is those that come and visit and leave with island kids.
and then put
wait,
them
say
on
that
the
again one more time.
He's saying that the tourists visit and leave with island children.
but
The
still put it on the
visit.
men that they with.
You mean like a girl got pregnant from a visitor that came in, and then she's
No, no, no,
putting
no. A female tourist
female
came to the
tourist
Virgin
come to the VI.
Islands,
Okay,
enjoyed herself,
she
and
she.
then went back and gave her boyfriend a child.
And
Oh,
said it was
okay, okay,
his.
okay, okay. Um, I'm sure that
But
happens
that
everywhere. It's more
I'm
popular in
saying
Jamaica, I would say.
a
Um,
future conversation.
um, unless the guy that she's dating is black, it is probably going to be hard for her to pass off that black kid to her white boyfriend or husband.
Yeah, well, that's
Um,
what we're talking. Girl
Spanish
trip.
guy might get away with it.
Girl trip.
I
You say
mean,
you might get one
girls
pass.
trip. I think that stuff happens enough that guys are wary about any girl on a girls trip. Just a notion of going on a trip with a bunch of females in a destination where women are known to act less than committed is enough of a red flag that you should leave that female as soon as she suggests she wants to go on a girl's trip. Even before she leaves, you're like, "Yo, this is over. I already know
Yeah.
what's gonna happen when you go down there. So like,
I'm gonna find a
why are we playing
Jamaican guy.
games?"
I'm gonna find a Jamaican guy that has all the stories, and he's gonna, yep, I did that too. Yep, it happened. I'm find one. He's gonna be from Kingston.
Kingston. Yes.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you can find them, I'm sure they
I'm
got
done
stories.
talking.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I'm done
Yep.
talking.
Again, amazing. We will get better. Thank you for having us on the show, Out of the Mud INC. And we are Culture Echo Live, promoting community, prosperity for those behind us, and not affirmation, confirmation that there are individuals out there who are trying to do the right thing. And we are able to voice it. And it's difficult. I like that word that you use with therapeutic. It is. It sucks out here when you don't have common ground or common relations or expressing things that are, how should I say, distracting in your daily life, even though if it happened so long ago. So yeah, safe platform, find a mentor. Mentors are everywhere. Make sure you find a line with your goals and do your best to find one that actually has your best interests and not just trying to puppet you along, and I just leave it with that, because that's another issue. False mentors are out there as well.
Well, let's just speak on
Well,
how to
have a
find
good
a
night,
mentor.
gentlemen.
All righty.
Say again.
All right.
Hallelujah.